this morning, we find out Bill Belichick and the Patriots have now parted ways, mutual parted ways. Bill Belichick, 6 Super Bowl championships. In my opinion, as I said with Nick Saban, would apply to Nick Saban in college football being the GOAT, not top 5 or top 3. He's the GOAT, one of one. I think it applies to Bill Belichick. And we know, and I know it's a little complicated with Hoodie because he's not very well liked. Obviously, the way he does things, the way he approaches the game, he's a very polarizing individual. Doesn't seem very friendly. Scandals, Deflategate, Spygate, all this stuff. And then, obviously it's a little conflicting now because all the winning he's done in his career has been with Tom Brady as quarterback of the Patriots. And the minute Brady leaves, this team falls apart. I don't think it's fair to Bill Belichick to judge him solely as he needed Brady more than the way out. I think both guys need each other. You got to remember, too, look, this dynasty was a long time. This first of all, this Patriot dynasty is the greatest dynasty in NFL history. Sustained nearly 20 years of excellence. If they weren't winning Super Bowls, if they weren't in the Super Bowls at least, they were at least in the conversation. They were always in the Final Four, AFC title games, deep runs every year with Belichick and Brady. And I acknowledge Tom Brady's the GOAT. I think most people acknowledge that. But the thing is, we forget sometimes because it's been so long. It's been so long with Tom Brady that we acknowledge that he's a GOAT. That we forget that Tom Brady didn't really become Tom Brady until probably 5 or 6 years in. And by then, he already had 3 titles. We forget that sometimes. As much as Belichick needed Brady, it goes both ways, my friend. Brady needed Belichick too. They don't win those Super Bowls early, those 2001, 2003, 2004 Super Bowls, without that elite defense that carried that Patriots team. And again, I'm not saying Brady was not good. He was still really good. He wasn't the Tom Brady that we know and appreciate and respect, admire. Okay, you do go back to 2001, 2002, 3, 4, 5. Those were early years. Tom Brady wasn't the Tom Brady that we now know and love. So how do they win? Conservative offense. I didn't want to say he was a game manager because it sounds like a negative connotation, but it's not. But he really was close to a game manager at the time. The Patriots won those 3 Super Bowls early on, 3 out of 4 out the chute, because of that defense, anchored by Bill Belichick. That was his MO. Bill Belichick, and I'm a Giants fan saying this, was the anchor of the New York Giants defense that won 2 Super Bowls in 86 and 90, when Bill Belichick was the defensive coordinator of the New York Giants. So we're not going to sit here and mock Bill Belichick and say, oh, well, Brady's gone. It's not that simple. Now, we can be critical of Bill Belichick and some decisions he's made in recent years, personnel decisions he's made in recent years. And for the record, we've been kind of saying this. I know I've mentioned this a couple times, even during the Brady years, that Belichick's made some questionable personnel decisions, but we always put on the rug because, he did bad move, but they're still winning Super Bowls. Doesn't matter. They're still winning. So we pass it off. And rightfully so. But let's not knock Belichick to raise Brady. Brady gets his flowers. In my eyes, he's the greatest of all time. So it doesn't even matter at this point. He still gets the standard. He's still the standard by which quarterbacks are, judged by. But it goes both ways. Not surprised this happened. Bill Belichick obviously is on pace. We'll see where he goes to next. He is second all-time in wins. I don't have the number in front of me. I think he's 40, maybe 40 wins behind Don Shula. We'll see how that plays out. He obviously wants to coach. He said he wants to coach. Where's he go? I think a good fit for him would be Washington. I think a fit for him would be the Chargers. Give him to the Chargers. You have a top 10 quarterback in the league, and Justin Herbert there already. I think Atlanta's interesting. Those are the three teams really to me that stand out for what would constitute good fits for Bill Belichick as head coach moving forward. But again, I don't want to make this about knocking Belichick because he was bad this year and pretty much bad last couple of years without Tom Brady. Because we don't have to do that. We don't have to do that at all. Bill Belichick's still, in my opinion, the greatest all time. I do think, though, that conversation, though, with coaching all time is a little more fluid than people give credit for. I think if Andy Reid wins more in the back end here, certainly that conversation can change, given his influence in the league on top of that, too, and given the different places he's won at. But Belichick's the GOAT right now. If you ask me right now, who's the greatest coach of all time in NFL history? It's Bill Belichick. Brady, no Brady, doesn't matter. Simple. You 6 Super Bowls, 6 Super Bowls. It's a lot. Sustainability, it's a lot. In a league of free agency and movement, someone still has to anchor that, and that's Bill Belichick. You got to give him credit. So there's that. So again, salute to Bill Belichick. 24 years out in New England. We'll see where to next for him. Should be a very fascinating story to follow going forward. This is far from over, at least from what we see here.